Good morning, it's Jane with Scraptastic Yarns. You know, this week has been one of those weeks where it's like, I'm having a hard time focusing, working on things. I'm not sure if you guys ever do that, but, and it's also been a week where I've been cutting a lot of fabrics for future bags. So, a lot of time is spent over at the cutting table. And that's just something I don't normally take you guys over to see. I have continued to make granny squares, but of course they're in the living room. I've been making some solid granny square. Are they solid granny squares? Can they be solid granny squares? Solid squares to go, to send, for that double duck dare thing. The only other thing is, I've continued to work on my, the back of the shirt that I had started long time ago. And if you saw the live with Connie, I talked about doing 2 rows at once. And these are half double crochet rows. This is not really got too far. But, and basically, those are kind of like linked, I would call linked stitches. That's what they remind me of. But you're doing 2 rows at once, so it goes pretty fast. And I am enjoying that because it does go pretty fast. But, like I said, I've not been getting very far with that. I've been working on my summer crossing shawl a little. I ripped it out and started again. There's a reason. Don't ask. Can't tell you. But one of the other things that I had started is I had written another pattern. I think I called it the spring garden shawl. So what I have been doing is I have been working up a sample of that as well. And yes, I have plenty of that bluebell color, so I'm using it up just to get rid of it. And then we had a little meeting. I'm part of a card ministry with my church that we make cards to send out to shut-ins, to send to our missionaries, to send to all kinds of people as encouragement, and, for when you have a loss in the family or when you just need an extra pick-me-up. We send them out to the college students so that they know that they're cared for and they're loved. And just anybody that we think might need a little boost, a little hug, in a sense. And that involves, luckily, I don't have to make the cards, but I do have to color the cards. So that involves sitting and coloring and spending some time doing that. So I've been doing that as well. I do that as well. I do quite a few other things that I don't show here. And this has been one of those weeks where it's been just dedicated to a lot of that stuff. But in our church is a very growing church. There are 8 couples that are due around January. Yeah. And we like to provide them with a little something. And I have taken on a mission to knit baby sweaters. So I need to get going on the baby sweaters as well. And of course, the baby sweaters, if I sit down and do it, it takes me about maybe 4 hours, 6 hours, depending on, if I get interrupted quite a bit. So I just started this to get it started. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I said, it's just been very almost like an unfocused week. And I don't like those kind of weeks. I struggle with them just because I feel like I'm not getting anything done. So, yeah, that's kind of how my week has gone. I hope yours has gone a lot better. And of course, I do spend time each week filming for the daily Bible readings. That takes a little bit of time, and the editing film, those kind of things. A lot of people, I don't always edit everything, but sometimes it takes quite a bit to edit out things. Like we'll be sitting here talking, telephone rings, I stop, answer the phone, kind of cut that out, or if something strange happens, like sometimes I get unfocused when the deer come down, and you don't see that. And that little weasel, it is a weasel. And the weasel comes down quite frequently. So, I get distracted because it's nature, and I find it interesting to watch those kind of things. So I gotta cut those things out of the video. Otherwise, I'd be doing this all day. So, those are some things that a lot of people don't realize content creators do. And it does take time. And then, of course, to upload videos does take time. So, although I try to crochet or knit while I'm doing that, so there is a little bit of that goes on. And, of course, I'm still busy putting things away here in the house. There are a lot of things that still haven't been put away. So that takes time as well. So yeah, it's rather interesting, some of the things that take your mind away from what you would like to do. And now, being the sole person that takes care of everything around the house, the outside including, that takes even more time away from things that I would like to be doing. All right, that is it. It's going to be a really short video. What can I say other than, it's just the way it's going to be this week. But are you ready for the what in Tarnation? I am. Long lost X-Wing model from Star Wars 1977 up for auction. A long lost X-Wing fighter model used on screen in the original Star Wars from 1977 has resurfaced and is being auctioned with an opening bid of $400,000. Heritage Auction said the model was long known as the missing X-Wing until it was found in the collection of Greg Jen, who died last year after a career in miniature making that saw him earn award nominations for his work on projects including Star Trek and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The 1/24 scale miniature was one of 4 created for filming close-ups in key moments during the famous third act battle in the Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, and features red stripes on its top 2 wings, identifying it as the Rebel Alliance Squadron's Red Leader. Heritage Auction said the X-Wing represents the pinnacle of Star Wars artifacts to ever reach the market. The model also stood in during some shots for Red 5, the ship piloted by Luke Skywalker, and Red 2 piloted by Wedge Antilles. The model was considered lost by the Industrial Light and Magic team for decades before it was identified by visual effects experts helping Jane's family sort through his extensive collection of cinematic artifacts. It is due to be auctioned October the 14th through 15th with that starting price of $400,000. Horse rescued from backyard swimming pool in North Carolina. Now, there are 2 links for this one. The first link just shows the horse after it's been hoisted out of it. The second one actually shows it in the pool, which is fairly murky, and that may have been because of the storm. Or it may be a pool that someone just hasn't cleaned out yet. Firefighters in North Carolina came to the rescue of a 1,200-pound horse that became spooked during a storm and plunged into a swimming pool. Wesley Chapel Fire Department said in a Facebook post that its Ladder 26 crew responded to a call for a large animal rescue and activated the Cabarrus County Large Animal Rescue Task Force, which summoned additional crews from Midland Fire and Rescue and Georgeville Fire Department. The crews learned the horse had been spooked by a storm the previous night and ended up in the 6-foot-deep pool. Crews ended up making a mechanical advantage rope system, pulling the horse out of the pool on a large slide board, the post said. Crews then used a tow truck and large animal straps to stand the horse upright, which anybody who knows with horses, that's important. But yes, they do sleep. They do lay down. Although my grandmother used to always tell me a story about being in with a bunch of women at a quilting thing and somebody come running in, there's a mare down, there's a mare down. And everybody took off after to help get the mare up. And I asked my grandmother, and she said apparently horses can't lay down or they die. But I've seen horses lying down in a field, so I don't know. You horse people, you need to educate us. This next story I find rather amusing. I wish there had been video when they broke into this room. Just because of the way it sounds. Yoga class meditation exercise confused for ritual mass murder scene. Police descended on a community space in Britain when some local dog walkers mistook a yoga class group meditation exercise for the results of a ritual mass murder. The Seascape Cafe at the North Sea Observatory in Chapel St. Leonards, England, detailed the unusual incident in a Facebook post, but without pictures. If anyone heard the massive police sirens in Chapel St. Leonards at 9:30 p.m. last night, then please be reassured, the post said. They were on their way to the observatory after someone had reported a mass killing in our building, having seen several people laying on the floor, which actually turned out to be the yoga class in meditation. Dear general public, please be mindful that the observatory has lots of yoga classes happening in the evenings. We are not part of any mad cult or crazy clubs, the post said. The class teacher, Millie Laws, wrote on our Unity Yoga Facebook page that police were called when some local dog walkers mistook the scene for a ritual mass murder. Laws said the class, now I know why there's no pictures. Laws said the class had already dispersed by the time police arrived at the building. She said she learned about the police's visit in a phone call from the building's manager. I was very shocked, she told CNN. It was so surreal. I didn't quite believe it was true. I've spoken to most of the people who took part, and they have just said how mad it is. They were all participating in a beautiful, deep relaxation, and it could have never run through any of our minds that it could be taken in this way. A police representative confirmed officers were called to the building for what turned out to be a mistake. A call was made following concerns for occupants of the North Sea Observatory at Chapel St. Leonards. Officers attended were happy to report everyone is safe and well. The call was made with good intentions, the representative said. All right, now we know why there's no pictures. Animals get themselves in some of the craziest situations, and I'm curious how this kitten got there. But when you see the video, the kitten looks like it's really upset about being rescued. Looks kind of mad. Rescuers move 5,000-pound concrete slab to rescue kitten. Animal rescuers in New York said they had to lift a 5,000-pound slab of concrete to rescue a kitten trapped 30 feet down a drain. The Strong Island Animal Rescue League personnel worked together with police when a kitten was heard crying at the bottom of a drain covered by a large concrete slab near Port Jefferson Station on Long Island. Rescuers used jacks and a hydraulic rescue tool, sometimes known as the jaws of life, to remove the slab from the top of the drain. The kitten was then removed from the drain and taken to Jefferson Animal Hospital. The Strong Island Animal Rescue League compared the rescue to a scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. The feline was found to be in good health and will soon be available for adoption, even though it looks very upset about being rescued. Maybe it's the way it was handled. Now, that Arkansas crater of diamonds. A 7-year-old found quite a find. 7-year-old makes 2.95 carat discovery at Arkansas crater of diamonds. A 7-year-old girl on a birthday trip to Crater of Diamonds State Park in Arkansas found a big present, a 2.95 carat diamond. Arkansas State Park said Aspen Brown of Paragould, Arkansas, or maybe it's Paragould, was visiting the park with her family to celebrate her birthday when she spotted the diamond in the park's north search area. Officials said the 2.95 carat diamond is about the size of a green pea with a golden brown color. It's very unique. The diamond is the second largest found by a park visitor this year, officials said. The largest was a 3.29 brown diamond found in March. The Murfreesboro Park was mined by commercial diamond hunters before becoming a state park in 1972. And here we have another animal, but this animal was a bit of a thief in what he did, or she did. Koala steals $3,800 worth of plants from nursery. The identity of a mystery thief responsible for eating $3,800 worth of plants from an Australian nursery was revealed when the culprit, a koala, gorged himself too much to flee. Humphrey Harrington of the Eastern Forest Nursery in Lismore area of New South Wales said staff first noted plants going missing a few months ago, and they initially suspected some escaped goats or local possums were behind the thefts. There weren't really any signs. There were no tracks or anything to indicate what it could have been, Harrington told the BBC. It was a mystery. He said the mystery was finally solved when workers arrived to find the thief. A koala had overeaten. I guess that day must have had a really big feed and was too tired to go back to his tree, Harrington said. The World Wildlife Fund, which supports the nursery, shared a photo of the koala dubbed Claude. All fun aside, this uncommon behavior shows that food sources are scarce, as koalas are not regular guests at the nursery, the World Wildlife Fund said in an Instagram post. Many of the seedlings stolen by Claude were actually destined for koala food and habitat restoration initiatives, the group said. Harrington said he wrapped Claude in a towel and moved him to a nearby tree. He said some koala-proof fencing is being installed to protect the plants. Poor Claude. Now he can't go having a free feast on any plants he wants to feast on. All right, guys, that is it for today's podcast or video. But last couple of times I have forgotten to do the devotion. So we're going to do that today. Let me get to the page. We are September the 12th, which today, in remembrance of September 11, was one of the best days I think the U.S. has experienced because we were all united as one. All right, held together. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. Colossians 1:17, the New International Version. Often life seems to be a conglomeration of unrelated activities. Oh yeah, that's been me this week. And we feel pulled in 1,000 directions simultaneously. Loose ends, unfinished business, and to-do lists leave us feeling a day late and $1 short. Frustration, discouragement, and anxiety often overwhelm. The Apostle Paul must have experienced something similar when he was on a ship headed to Jerusalem to be tried in court. I can't imagine. An enormous storm raged. In an effort to survive, the sailors wrapped ropes around the body of the ship to keep it from falling apart. God promised Paul that all would survive the wreck, and they did. What an amazing truth it is to know that this is not our job to hold our lives together. Our responsibility Our responsibility is to submit our to-do list to God, bow to His will, and let Him hold it together. He is the rope that holds us fast. What is on your to-do list today? Mine's pretty long. All right, guys, that's it for today. As always, love one another, be kind to one another, get out there and see this big, beautiful world, and get in touch with God and turn your radio on. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.